Hi there, my name is Rebecca Cook and I'm with Bella Pilates. Today I'm going to take you through a release and stretch workout for the hamstrings and low back. And so we're going to use a small spiky massage ball, and also I have a little strap here that I use. At times you could also instead have a yoga strap or a really long towel to put this around your foot, whatever you'd like to use. So the first thing we're gonna do is address the hamstrings, and we're gonna take our spiky massage ball and we're gonna place it underneath the leg. And I just want you to find some places up near the top of the hamstring, and you can move your legs side to side. If there's anywhere around there, you may have to kind of lean forward a little bit where you go, oh, all right, that striation on the outside is where I'm feeling it. And then you're gonna move down to another place. So just gonna work your way down the leg. Now, usually you're gonna be tight either right down the middle or down the side, the outside hamstring, or the inside a little bit. You just slowly move it down. You want to hold on a position for about 10 to 20 seconds, or if it feels good to do some cross fiber friction back and forth, you can do that as well. That will help break up adhesions that you have. You're just going to work all the way down. We don't want to get directly behind the back of the knee. That's the popliteal area, and there are lots of lymph nodes back there. We don't really want to be pressing into that area. So just be careful as you get closer to the knee. Just slowly working down the leg. All right. So you can certainly spend a little bit more time. I notice as I get down lower, ooh, it was on the outside, and then all of a sudden I feel it on that inside a little bit more. So I'm going to stay there, or maybe you go to the outside still and you feel that. You're going to work it all the way down until you're right above the back of the knee, okay? Like I said, we don't want to press into that. So if you need a little bit more time and you want to stay on these places, just depends on how much time you have for this workout, you can pause the video and take time to release both legs, okay? I'm not going to show you on the other leg. We're going to go right into our stretching. So after you've released that, go ahead and just place the ball beside you. You can do that release on a couch. You can do it on the floor. It's better to sit in a chair or a couch or the side of your bed than it is to sometimes get down on the floor and be sitting up doing it, trying to get up and out of the hips, especially if you have tight hamstrings. So we're going to find a place where we can roll down onto our backs. Again, a couch, a bed, the floor. And you're going to put your foot in the strap. And like I said, if you have very tight hamstrings, you're going to want a very long strap because your leg might not come up further than here, and that's okay. If you bend the opposite leg, that is going to help you if you have very, very tight hamstrings. The further away you bring that bottom leg even out to straight, the more you're going to feel the work in that hamstring, okay? So if you're a little bit more flexible, you can go ahead and bring that leg down. If you're less flexible, you can bring the leg up. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you feel here. Some people will feel a stretch even just right behind the knee. You can play with how you feel the stretch. You might want to bend the knee, soften the knee a little bit and pull back in. You're going to get more hamstring as opposed to straightening the leg. Straightening the leg, even pulling the toes back towards you, you're going to get a little bit more in the calf muscles. It's good to feel both, so kind of explore. And then I want you to just take the leg and I want you to wave it back and forth. Take some nice deep breaths. That waving just helps loosen it up a bit. Then I want you to pause with the leg and I want you to flex the foot towards you and point the foot away. Flex the foot towards you and point it away. So this is dorsiflexion, toes come towards the head, pointing away, plantar flexion, your toes are going away from your head. There we go. Back and forth. Just starts loosening up. Wonderful. Then we're going to take the opposite leg out to the side and then use your strap to pull the leg out to the side. So now we're getting inner thigh work. We're really like pulling that in, but you're counterbalancing that opposite leg down towards the floor. Take some nice deep breaths with this. Reaching that heel long. And then you're going to bring the leg back towards you. And you're going to bring the leg across the body. So you're bringing it towards the other leg. That's why we did the inner thigh stretch first, so that hopefully you don't feel this in the groin area. If you feel it in the hip flexor as you're pulling the leg across, you need to jump ahead to the hip flexor stretches, okay? But if you're good, you should feel this kind of on the outside of the hamstring. Some people feel it up into the calf as well in those outside peroneal muscles. So you're feeling a nice stretch coming across the midline. All right, then you're gonna bend the knee. This is where you can let go of the strap if you need to. If you need to still hold on, it's just fine. We're gonna bring that same knee towards the opposite shoulder. If you need to lift the other leg to help you, you can do that as well. And take nice deep breaths as if you're blowing a balloon up inside your hip. Even here, if you'd like to just give a little rock back and forth, that feels nice coming in and out of that stretch. All right. Once you're done with that leg, you're going to move to the other leg. So we put the other foot into the strap. We reach that leg up towards the ceiling. Okay. Again, you can keep this leg bent, or you can lengthen it out, straighten it out. The stretched leg, it can bend slightly or it can go straight. Give me a little wave of the leg back and forth. Just trying to relax the femur bone into the hip socket. And then go ahead and come back center. Flex the foot and point the foot. Flex the foot and point the foot. So you're going back and forth. You can add a slight bend in the knee when you flex and straighten as you point if you need to. You're just exploring, finding out what feels best in your body, where you have tightness. I'm going to bend my other leg back in and I'm going to counterbalance it as I pull the leg out to the side. So I'm using the strength of my arms to pull that leg towards the left side of my head. Taking deep breaths. Trying to really drop the hip away from my rib cage. Now we're going to get the leg, pull it back and across. So we're going across our midline. The other one came back up center. So we feel this right on the outside of that leg. You might feel it more in the hamstrings. You might feel it more in the calf. Going across. You can wiggle this a little bit too. Be a nice stretch. Then we're going to pull the knee in and across. You can bring the other leg up to meet it. If you need to rotate a little bit, lifting that left hip off, you can, but you don't have to. It might just feel good to hold that position in. We're going to go ahead and release the leg. I'm going to have you sit back up and grab that little tiny ball that you had. So we're going to use this ball, and what we're going to do is we're going to work the spinal erectors. Those are the muscles. There are several layers of muscles to the spinal erectors, but they are on either side of your spine, starting at the lower lumbar, going all the way up the back. Okay, so we're going to place this small ball under the right side, just above the pelvis. So you're going to just lift yourself up, and you're going to place that right above the pelvis where the low back starts. You're not directly on the spine, you're just to the side of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly turn under my hips, and I'm going to go back and forth, side to side with my hips, so I feel a little bit of release. And then I'm going to move the ball up an inch, and I'm going to go back and forth, back and forth. And if there's a spot that feels really tight and I just want to lay the pressure, the weight of my body onto the ball, I can do that for 10 to 20 seconds. And then I'll move it up, and I'll go side to side. So it goes pretty slow, but it's super effective release. Go back and forth, back and forth. You'll feel those muscles. If you need to turn slightly towards that side and rotate, that feels really nice as well. And we're just going to work. We can, if you have a lot of time, you can do this all the way up to between your shoulder blades and get all of that release. But for today, we're just going to do the lower lumbar. So we're just working our way up little by little. As you start getting up near the rib cage, it may be a little tighter. We're talking about kind of L1, L2, L3 area. Might be a little bit more sensitive. We have our psoas major coming in and connecting to the spine underneath all of those spinal erectors, and that can all play a part in muscle tightness in the back. And we go all the way until we're almost at the rib cage, right in the corner of where the rib cage begins. Right in there. And that area feels really good to be on that ball. You might even want to like sink on it a little bit. You might even have a little bit of referred pain. If you are feeling any sort of numbing or tingling, you are on a nerve and you need to just find a new spot. Get off of that area. But you should be pretty safe here. So you're just going to work your way up and hold on any area that feels really tight, okay? So we got that side. You're gonna do the same thing on the other side. You can stop the video if you need to and work your way all the way up the other side of the spine. I know that that takes a little bit of time, but the benefits are very, very good. So we're going to work a little stretch. I want you to find some place in your home, sometimes like a stair banister or a doorway, something that you can hold onto that can hold a lot of your weight. And I want you to reach forward and reach the body back. So we're getting this really nice traction of the spine. And then what I want you to do is kind of like a tail wag. We're reaching our hip to one side and then reaching the hip to the other side. And usually you're going to find that one side is a little bit tighter than the other. So just back and forth, or maybe you just want to hold and feel that stretch. My legs are slightly forward. I'm bending my knees, and then I'm really leaning back into that, trying to reach my tailbone back. You can come up and out of it and then go back down into it 2 or 3 times, again, depending on how much time you have. And then the last exercise we're going to do is a hip flexor stretch. We're going to bring our right leg behind us to start. Our hips are nice and even, and we can hold on to a wall or a chair. I'm holding on to this pole right now. We're going to internally rotate the femur bone. I know you can't see it, but if I were facing this way, I'm internally rotating it. Not rotating the hips. The hips stay forward, internally rotating the femur bone or the leg. Okay? So we're doing that, and we're going to bring the hips forward into a little bit of a lunge, pelvis forward, and we're reaching up tall. So we're trying to make space in between each vertebra through height, and you'll feel some stretch in here, and then you're going to reach the arm over. If it's available to you and you don't have any back issues, you can open up or go forward a little bit and find where you feel more stretch. So you may feel a little bit more here, you may feel a little bit more here, you might feel a little bit more open, but you're going to stay on that spot. And then you're going to come up after about 20 or 30 seconds. We're going to repeat it on the other side. So I'm a little bit at the end of my camera angle here, but we're going to try. We're bringing the left leg back. We're internally rotating it, bringing the pelvis forward, lifting up tall, up and out of our hips. We bring our left arm up and we reach across. And then again, play with rotating forward a little bit or rotating back, and finding that you might be a little bit different from side to side. One side you might want to go forward, one side you might want to go back a little bit. But we're just breathing through that stretch. And then we're coming up. We're going to relax in the hips. Very good. You might want to go back and repeat your pulling back exercise. But those are some really nice release and stretch exercises for the hamstrings, for the hips, low back. That I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Rebecca Cook, and I'm with Bella Pilates.